Hello? Hello? Hi, everyone. Hi. I just want to start out with a question. Okay. So, I'm going to talk about learning Chinese in general and talk about Chinese characters, how it's formed, and at the last section, we're going to talk about calligraphy, which is the activity we're going to do today, all right? So, how many of you think Chinese is hard? Okay. How many of you think Chinese is easy? It just comes naturally, right? Okay. Well, I just want to draw some analogy of Chinese and English that you're learning too, okay? When we learn English for native Chinese speakers, it was really hard for us too, because when we learned Chinese, we didn't have any second thoughts. We were just kind of like, oh, that's the character we use, and that's the way we communicate, and that's the way characters are. So just like, okay. But when it comes to English, that's when I started learning English alphabet when I was 7th grade. Can you imagine a 7th grader just learning to write A, B, C, and after half semester, they start teaching us this is a pen, okay? That is a pencil. So we started out like that. So by the time we are 12th grade, we kind of learning to write a simple sentence, barely still communicating too. The reason I want to draw this analogy, parallel story, is that actually, if you try to think in Chinese, it's not that hard, okay? Okay, so learning Chinese, the Chinese characters, all right? So let me go to the next slide. Okay, so how many characters do you need to be able to read and write? What do you think? Let me have some hands. Yes.
3,000.
3,000? Okay. Yes?
6,000. 6,000. 6,000.
Okay. Nice numbers. McGuire.
200.
200. All right. Okay. Okay, I have those numbers up there, so you have some idea, okay? So, with some of the very thick dictionaries you can find, there are about 50,000 to 80,000 characters on those thick dictionaries. And do you need to know all those characters in order to communicate or read and write? No. Okay, so the number now goes down a little bit, but the possible characters in Chinese characters is about 50,000 to 80,000, okay? In order to read, for example, Reader's Digest, New York Times, and some nice Wall Street Journal, that type of newspaper equivalent to Chinese, okay? You need about 3,000 characters to be able to read with comprehension, with meaning, and be able to make sense, okay? 3,000, all right. But the number even goes down. Let's say if you just want to be functional, meaning that if you are on your own, you want to take a trip to what is 垦丁公园, for example. You just want to do a trip by yourself. You want to book a hotel, or you want to just go biking on a 环岛旅行. You go around the island just want to be able to order food and just be able to be functional. It's about 1,000 characters you need just be able to functional. So that's the good news for you. Okay? So if you learn about 200 characters per year or 300 characters, you're very ambitious. It takes about 2-3 years to be able to quite functional. Okay? So that's the good news. But the trick is, how do you use those first 1 year, 2 year, 3 year to acquire this 1,000 characters? That's another thing, right? Okay. So, Chinese character in general, you have characters, right? But the character itself is not going to do anything. You need a vocabulary. For vocabulary, majority of you went through it, you know. You probably need 2 characters to form a vocabulary, a useful vocabulary, yes? So, when you learn characters, be sure you know how the character works. Otherwise, you spend a lot of useless time. You're wasting your time learning different characters, still can't remember things, okay? So, remember the 2 character rule, okay? At least 2 characters. So that 2 characters will form a vocabulary. And then after you get a vocabulary, you need a sentence. Learn the vocabulary within the sentence, with the context of the sentence. Then you will say, oh yeah, this is how it works, okay? Otherwise, if you just learn characters, you will forget the character too, okay? But if you learn in a set, for the vocabulary and for the sentence, with a story, with a context, that's how you get the characters you learned or vocabularies you learned stay in your brain. That's how our brain works, okay? And, okay, so let's go down to the characters. So characters, within the characters, there's some kind of structure that you need to know so that you know how to learn it efficiently, okay? So just like English, we have a word, for example, if you say community, okay? So the first part, it means kind of like common, is that right? Community. You kind of dissect that word into different parts, and then the last T, it's probably equivalent to Chinese zi. Some students ask me, what does zi mean? I said, zi can be Kongzi, Confucius, Houzi, monkey, Zhuozi. Okay, that word just helps to settle a noun, to make that 2-character vocabulary, okay? So, just like that community, it's kind of equivalent to that TY, or communication, that TION. It helps to settle that vocabulary, okay? So, now we go down to the character, how that forms, okay? So, characters, for example, some of the root words in English, okay? You learn that Latin root or French root. There's some roots there. Once you know that, a lot of the words is similar to it, you kind of be able to guess what that word is. Same thing with Chinese. We call that radical or root word. And those are the words they only occupy a small percentage of that. How many words? 50, 1,000 characters, right? Okay? They only occupy a portion of it, okay? And those are the words, for example, are these. Majority of you know these characters, okay? We call that pictographic words. Can you say that word? Pictographic. Pictographic. So pictographic words are the root words, okay? Those are the words, it's similar to pictures. Okay, so for example, when we see shan, right? Mountain, okay? So here is a mountain, all right? Do you all see this? Here is a mountain, and we have okay, that's a mountain, all right? So, for example, the sun, in the old days, this is what they draw, okay? The reason there's a dot inside is if you look at the sun in a bright day, not a cloudy day like this, you look at it, if you stare long enough, the brightest point is in the middle, right? It kind of blinds you. That is what that dot is, okay? So, after a while, it kind of changes, and it became this character, okay? Okay? So these those are the examples. It resembles picture. All right? It resembles picture. So that's why we call that pictographic. And these are the root words. Can you all say root words? Okay, root words. All right. So these are the root words. So root words, you need to know these. Some of the students, they only learned Chinese for 2 years. And then they came back from China. They went for a tour with parents. And they came back and told me, well, Miss Chiu, I saw a lot of characters or signs on the airport or places where it doesn't have English translation. But I was able to guess what they are. The reason is he knows all these root words very well. And then when it's in a context with the environment and with other combination words, he was able to guess, okay? And that is a very good tool, all right? So that type of root word is only a portion of Chinese characters. Majority of the Chinese characters, or about 84% of Chinese characters, we call that combination of radical and sound of a word. So those are the combination words. For example, these. A lot of you know these characters already, right? So, for example, mama, the left side is what? Okay, the left side is nu, right? Woman, that's a root word. So that's a combination word. And the right side is ma, right? Horse, we are borrowing the sound of the horse and combined with the radical, the root word of nu, because mama is woman. That's ma, okay? So these type of words consist of 84% of Chinese characters. So once you master the root word and know some of the words, you start combining things when you learn. Well, you don't combine on your own. When you learn new characters, you analyze it. You kind of say, oh, this is a combination of this and that. And that's the sound of it. It's easy to remember, all right? So, let me show you something. Mama is a combination like this. One side is a radical, one side is the sound of the word. That is a new character. Ma, okay? And look at ba, ba. the fu, means father. And the lower part is fa. That is the sound of that word. You change the tone. Fa. Okay? What would that be? It's like this. Okay? So upper part, lower part, you got a new word. Actually, when you pull them apart, you learn another 2 characters. Okay? So learning that one word, you learn the 3 characters. Alright? So there are different combinations. You can see some of them are 3 parts. Look at the lin, okay? Lin, 像the shower, 淋浴, the shower. It has the water and then 2 wood. Okay? So it's this combination. Alright? And the how, again, it's like this. Woman and son or child, okay? So woman and child together, it's a good thing. Or you can interpret it in biblical sense, right? When man and woman together, it's good, all right? So examples like that, and the I, you can see it's 3 parts, okay? So learn the character that way. Don't try to remember each stroke. Well, learn the stroke from the root word in small part, and then you do the combination. It will be much easier, all right? Actually, I'm gonna hold that. Okay, we are running out of time. So that's the characters. So I'm going to show you very briefly how calligraphy goes, okay? The calligraphy in the old days, we have, so the calligraphy, as you can see, this is like a really big brush, okay? And you see this? Okay, the tip. And this is actually animal hair, okay? And so there's a certain way you can hold a brush, okay? Can you take your hands out like this? Like an eagle's claw, all right? And then the pen goes right here, okay? Where these 2 fingers against. So 1, 2, 3 are the points. And then you put it this way, okay? And inside of your hand, it's as if you are holding an egg. Just don't crush the egg. It's hollow, okay? You cannot do this, all right? It has to be this way. And when you write, you're actually using your elbow, and you use a lot of fine motors involved in this part of your body, okay? And when you write, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this really quick. All right. So Chinese characters again. So even within the root words, we have. Could you come closer? Okay. So these, all right. These are different strokes for the characters, all right? And as you can see, when you write, we have a lot of different strokes, right? Okay? So whenever you see a horizontal line or vertical line, it's always horizontal first and then vertical, okay? And then you always write the left side of the character, then right side of the character. So that's the general order of the stroke order. So let me just do one quick demo. So when you write 1, that is really Easy one, right? When you write one, you don't just write a one, okay? There is a certain way of doing it. So when you write one, this is how it goes. You actually kind of lift up. So on top of it, I'm gonna do my brush, all right? So when you have that, this is how you hold it, okay? You kind of lift, and then you kind of go down, and then you lift, and then you go down again, okay? So one more time. I didn't have enough ink on this one. So this is the bone structure you will see, okay? It's like a bone. It's round on two sides. In the middle, you kind of lift, and then you push down again, and then you kind of curve and then lift, okay? So this is how you write a horizontal stroke. And when you write vertical, it's the same, okay? So you kind of make these, and then you lift, okay? So, I might use this big brush. Okay, so this is the general way of doing it, okay? So when you write, for example, a person, okay? A person. We have only two strokes, right? A person. So, okay, so here is how it starts. And then you come up, and then you push down, and then you lift. That's why, notice how this brush is formed. It has a very pointed tip, and it has various width. So that's why it's able to make all that beautiful strokes with different width. So I want you to have fun, experiment with the brush. But one last thing, okay? In order to last the life of these brushes, we bought new brushes for you all. So after you are done, you are gonna wash it, okay? And make sure you squeeze the water out, and you have to make a really pointy tip at the end, and leave it like this to dry. Otherwise, this brush is not gonna work for next time, all right? So just like after you wash your hair, you want to blow dry your hair into a nice shape, right? This brushes needs a nice hairstyle at the end, all right? So make sure you leave it like this, then give it to your teacher, all right? And one more thing. Okay, I won't take too long. What is this called?
Piece of wood.
Yes. Yeah, this is the ink. This is called an ink stick. All right? We have a liquid form like this, but Chinese found a way to make the ink as an ink pad. And this stone is the grinding stone. So you put water in, you just keep on grinding it, and let the ink come out, all right? And brush and paper. So next time, for any chance, if we have a chance to play the video next time, if we have a chance, it actually show you how to make the paper to use for the calligraphy. This is not the correct paper. Anyways, we call these 4 treasures of a scholar. Okay? So, ink pad, the grinding stone, alright? The brush, and the paper. Okay? So those are the 4 treasures. Alright, so we are done. Alright.
Ms. Chiu again is real good. You guys can go home and learn the same thing. Okay? Tomorrow, same time.